everybody. My name is Zach. I'm your cult boyfriend, and yeah, welcome to a live stream. Um, just wanting to make sure this is working okay. Well, the advertisement's working fine. I can tell you that. Hope everyone's having a good day out there. It's raining here in Florida, always, constantly. Um, it's raining here in Florida. Oh boy, everything's sounding great, and I'm looking even better. Yeah, the title of this stream is Movies, Movies, Movies. I want to do something maybe a little bit more positive. I have a sense, have an idea that when I go live, I might come off as pessimistic and hostile, which I am both of those things. But I also love films to death. I love TV. So let's show a bit more love today. Jill Roberts is my girlfriend. Let's go. We can start when you're here. Glad to see you. But let's just do like a little activity in the meantime while I figure out something else to do. Let's just do something fun. Yes, we're gonna go to Tier Maker, and I'm just gonna. I typed in movie villains, so I've never looked at these lists before. But hey, that's Gary Oldman from Leon. Maybe I'll know people on this list, right? They're not just. Oh my god, that's a lot. It's a lot of people, dude. It's a lot of people. I might not know all the people on this list. I mean, I'll definitely know most of them. I don't understand. I don't understand this list, but I mean, it's just what we're gonna do for fun. Don't worry about it, Zach. I'm a jaded cynic, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it either, but like I got a few concerned responses from more like I guess longtime viewers who were like, "What I liked most about you was your passion, but now you're saying you want film to burn and die, and that you hate everyone in the community." And it's like, I mean, in my defense, at least I'm passionate about that as well. No, I still love film, still love TV. I still want all those things to crash and burn, and I'm still jaded and cynical. And hopefully, I attract like-minded people. Uh, this is a long fucking tier. I might get bored. I might get really bored, or I might just go super fast because there doesn't even seem to be too many interesting people on here. But um, I don't even know how I'm gonna rank this. Heath Ledger's Joker. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. I think Heath Ledger's Joker is one of the best villains in movies. I don't care. I know it's kind of trashy that I'm putting him at S, but yo, I feel so seen right now. Heath Ledger was great in The Dark Knight. His Joker was excellent. It might be like a weird argument for Nolan to have made with like total control or total freedom with anarchy or fascism fighting it out, and fascism has to be like the victor in order to have his sane, rational universe. But Heath Ledger's Joker was excellent. I remember what 2008 came out, going there opening night to the IMAX. Probably drove to Orlando to see it, and man, what an audience interaction. And I was 17 or 18 when that movie came out. Yeah, I was one of those fucking people who thought it was one of the greatest things ever, and grown out of a lot of that. But I still think that Heath Ledger's performance was electric in that movie, and that his version of the Joker, Nolan's version of the Joker, is outrageously good. And like it makes you question Nolan's like effectiveness, because are we supposed to like think that Batman's the like that fascism or control or government, whatever, that Batman, that justice is at all as intoxicating to be around as chaos and anarchy like the Joker? Because it doesn't work. The argument doesn't work, because one of the people involved directly in that argument is one of the best villains of all time, Heath Ledger's Joker. Who is this? Who is that? Horrible Bosses? Is that Horrible Bosses? That's Jennifer Aniston. Is that Horrible Bosses though? I don't fucking know. If it's Horrible Bosses, it goes to F. Is that just Kermit? Is that just Kermit in general? Is this a funny list? Whoever made this is a real comedian? Kermit would be a terrible villain, unless I'm missing something, some big plot line. Who's that from? Is that Matilda or who's that from again? I don't know who that's from again, dude. Hey, Kawan, how are you? Hello. It's the thing you were talking about last week, with movies and books and stuff. I think the postmodernism is gone because the corporate overlords are light on it. Corporate overlords certainly don't understand postmodernism. I think postmodernism's done in movies because it ran its course. And irony is a huge part of postmodernism, right? And one of the things that can happen from irony is post irony. So I think we just live in a post ironic, ultra modern world where nothing really means much of anything these days. I don't know if that's the person from Matilda, though, but Loki was stupid. So was General Zod. L Driver, though, gets to go to the B category. I really liked Kill Bill. Kill Bill was fun. See, let's have fun with movies today. Let's not be too critical or rude or mean. That said, Killmonger goes to the F. Um, and I actually never watched the Joker or Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. It just didn't look like it interested me at all. This guy from Captain Phillips goes to F. Mark Zuckerberg as a person goes to F. Green Goblin. I'm already bored with this tier, everybody. That is Miss Trunchbull from Matilda. I'll give her a D, I guess. Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's here, and I think there's like real people here as well. I mean, other real people besides him. So who knows how this list is actually operated? My So-Called Life, season 2. If they had a season 2, what do you think they would have done with it? I think that's personally, I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of My So-Called Life is the fact that it is a show about coming of age. Winnie Holtzman said this, so I'm basically quoting her exactly because it's so beautiful what she said about her own show. It ended at a time when it was still all just potential. It was a show about coming of age or a show about adolescence that died in its own adolescence. Everything else is just potential. And I love that idea that this show about adolescence is now forever until the end of time within a sort of stasis, a teen stasis. I like that. It makes it more poetic, tragic, and ultimately beautiful that we didn't get a season 2 of My So-Called Life. And also, we must keep in mind that Claire Danes was going to leave the show anyway after season 1. So season 2 would have been without Angela. And I cannot imagine My So-Called Life without Claire Danes because she was so perfect, like everlasting. She was amazing on that show. One of the greatest leads. Like I should do like best leads in a teen drama because she's like probably number one. She just nailed it. She just nailed it, and she was so young and just so full of emotion, and she was great. And I can't imagine My So-Called Life season 2 without her and whatever half-ass reason they'd give for her not being there. You know, Jared Leto is not strong enough to carry My So-Called Life without Claire Danes. So it's great for a lot of different reasons why we didn't get on My So-Called Life season 2. But I commiserate with you. I relate. I wish, it would have been great to see 6 seasons, but at the same time, it's beautiful that we didn't. Ferris Bueller's Day Off Principle. You know what? Put him right behind L Driver. He was. I love that film because quite like The Dark Knight. It's a confrontation between fascism, extreme order, and anarchy, and anarchy for John Hughes, and that's the last film John Hughes ever directed, by the way. It's this kid having a parade for himself, basically breaking the fourth wall every 2 seconds because even film can't contain this firecracker of a fucking daredevil kid. Ferris Bueller's a great hero, and this principal guy, was a great villain. And I like how pathetic he was. So we'll put him at B underneath L Driver. I hope O-Ren Ishii is here. from Kill Bill. I don't see Lucy Liu on here, but she was my favorite villain of Kill Bill, easily. She's one of my favorite villains of all time, is O-Ren Ishii, but I don't really see her. Could be blind, and I also don't know how long I'm gonna do this. Okay, Ultron, everybody, I'm gonna put him at B as well, because I said on the last stream, I digged Age of Ultron. It's probably maybe that and Iron Man 3, like, after I thought about it a bit more, those two films, also extremely divisive films within the Marvel fan community. Those are the only two films that feel more like the director's films than Marvel's films. Like Iron Man 3 feels like a Shane Black movie more than a Marvel movie. You just have to like Shane Black in order to like Iron Man 3. That's a big problem. And Age of Ultron feels more like a Joss Whedon film than a Marvel film. And Ultron, he's exactly like, not exactly, but very similar to the season 4 big bad, which was Adam, that cyborg fucking thing. So who was questioning existentialist philosophy, wondering who the fuck he was. Well, actually, that's the scariest part about Ultron and Adam from season 4. And I think the scariest thing Joss Whedon can like think of is that the scariest thing that some sort of creature can be is completely knowledgeable of their own purpose. Like Ultron knows exactly who he is, what he's going to be, and has a plan, has an ultimate plan. If you're possessed by extreme purpose, then you're extremely dangerous and extremely formidable in Joss Whedon's eyes. There's a lot of interesting things to Age of Ultron, right? Just like very quickly, I like the whole color theory around it that I've never seen anyone talk about, that the heart of the movie really is Hawkeye trying to be at peace with his family. And you introduce these two newbies to the film. You got Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, who blue and red, and if you mix blue and red together, you get purple. You get the heart of the film. And of course, Quicksilver dies sacrificing himself for like saving Hawkeye's life. And it speaks to auteur theory even more, because Age of Ultron devolved into what Joss Whedon loves most, like with Summer Glau in Firefly, and with Sarah Michelle in Buffy. Like Elizabeth Olsen in Age of Ultron is another teenage fucking superhero that he's like obsessed girl that he's obsessed with deconstructing and analyzing. LeBron James, I don't fucking know anything about LeBron James, so I don't know if he needs to go to F. But I'm just not gonna put him there. I don't know what's wrong with LeBron. Fucking Amon Gotha, Ralph Fiennes from Schindler's List. Incredible performance in a very bad movie. He's incredibly good. I'm gonna put him at C because the movie he's in is just so awful. Did I really put Norman Osborn at S? Was I high like 5 minutes ago? I just noticed that. No, 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 I'll put him on B. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. That's crazy of me. Anyways, Ralph Fiennes gives a lovely performance there. What is your favorite album? Fevers and Mirrors by Bright Eyes. Hey, Joker 2019 is not a real Joker movie. It's a King of Comedy Taxi Driver mashup redo with a Joker DC skin put on it to make more money. That's what it looked like, right? But like, was it good? Like, I like both King of Comedy and Taxi Driver a lot. I also don't need to see that story again. Like, I feel like so alone because I'm one of the few like cinephile guys on the planet who, like, Travis Bickle just never resonated with me. I never empathized with that motherfucker. I thought he was a psychopath. It's not really telling my story. So like Joker looked like it definitely has an audience, but I am not that audience. I don't know. I don't know. The director, what? Todd Haynes, is that it? I don't know who the fuck directed that movie, but I know he doesn't do things that I'm interested in. Joaquin Phoenix's best performance, though, probably The Master, but I love me a good supporting role from him. 8mm as Max California. He was great. Loved him in Gladiator too. He's a good actor. It's just nothing about Joker really grips me. I don't know what that is. Is that Frozen? I don't know what that is either. He looks familiar. I don't know what that is though. If that's Frozen, and if that's, I don't know, looks like the guy from The West Wing, really old, but I don't fucking know though. But John Doe in Seven, or is it Kevin Spacey in real life? I can't tell with this list, but John Doe in Seven, I like. Put him at the A tier. I think Seven's great. I thought Kevin Spacey was phenomenal in the film as well. I like the way that he challenged our, I guess, our heroes of the film, and basically was victorious over the entire piece. I fucking hate Star Wars. Okay, Anakin can go to the F tier. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. I hate Star Wars. I hate it to death. There's nothing good about them. I'm sorry. I like A New Hope. It's fine. I'm overreacting. I definitely don't like the prequels though. I definitely don't care about the prequels, and I don't care that we're like reclaiming Hayden Christensen. He's a terrible actor, so I really don't care. I'm not drinking the same Kool-Aid as everyone else. Is that is that is that the Winter Soldier? Can't tell because his face is covered, but I see an arm, or is he not? I never watched Whiplash. I've never watched a Damien Chazelle movie, so that might be crazy to some of you, but none of them have interested me. They just don't. I feel like I'm getting along fine in life. I have a problem. I don't like new movies really. Like I need to really be new movie pilled. I need to be introduced to like good movies that are new and that are, I don't know. I said to give them the time of day. I'm stuck in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s personally. I can't get over that. That's the dad from Get Out. Fuck. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched Get Out. Okay, now it's sounding bad. But like I did like Us. I watched Us. So I've seen one Jordan Peele movie. Damn it, I haven't watched Get Out. Okay, thank you, Valdez. Fuck. I need to watch new movies, you know. But there's something about like the way they're made now that just feel unaffectionate. That's not the right word. It's just I can't get into new movies. Thank you for bringing that up. He was great in Shattered Glass, but he also, in my opinion, he was great, but he gave the weakest performance of the film, especially when most of his scenes are with Peter Sarsgaard in Breaking Glass, and Peter's going for it. Peter elevated that movie to unknown levels, like just like he did in Garden State. You give Peter Sarsgaard any fucking role except for Green Lantern, everyone was miserable there. But you give Peter Sarsgaard any role typically, and he will just be one of the best. He's one of my favorite actors. He was beautiful in Shattered Glass. He was so good. That movie is so underrated. It really is. Hayden was great in Shattered Glass mostly because I think the movie played to his strengths, meaning that he's a terrible actor. You know, it played to his strengths in the sense that you can tell that this guy is full of shit and you want to wring his fucking neck. And that he's so like disingenuous, but I don't know if that was deliberate on Hayden's part or if he's just that bad at acting. But whatever happened, he did great ultimately. But Peter Sarsgaard, oh my god, he was so good in that movie that everyone should watch that movie just to watch Peter Sarsgaard lose his fucking mind on Hayden Christensen screaming about juked micronics. Everyone needs to see that movie just to watch Peter. What the fuck happened to Peter Sarsgaard? He was phenomenal. Hey everybody, a villain that I love to hate is that corporate evil puppet, Carter Burke from Aliens. Yeah, from the Mad About You show. Paul, I can't think of his name right now. Something Riser? I don't know. He was awful. He was great. I like all of the bad Wayland Yutani guys. Actually, they're fun. They're fun to be around. The villains in the Alien series are pretty cool. Like the secondary aliens, not even the xenomorphs. Like in the first film, Ash was the coolest. I remember I went a very long time without watching the Alien film. So, like, the first time I watched Alien 1, I was in my early 20s already, and I had no clue that synthetic robots were a thing because the movie doesn't fucking tell you. And so when Sigourney Weaver is fighting with Ian Holm and his fucking head comes off and like fucking cum milk goo just like spurts out of his neck, I was like, that was the scariest thing to me watching it, because I'd been desensitized to what the xenomorph looked like, but I had no fucking clue there were milk robots in that fucking movie, and that Ash's head would just fucking spurt off like that. That was insane. That was insane. Oh my god. I remember that. You know, that's one of my favorite villains, I guess, is Ash in the first Alien. But I'm in the camp that prefers Aliens over Alien 1. That's a whole different story. What's my Twitter handle? I don't like use Twitter anymore. I deleted it. It was Caricature of Zach. I deleted it, but then I realized that like that link is in all of my old videos, and that like someone could just go in there and steal it now and like make me look like an idiot if they felt like it. And I've had weird people watch me before who might do that. So if you find a Twitter at Caricature of Zach, it is me, but just because I don't want anyone else taking that handle that I deleted and doing something obscene with it. But I'm not on Twitter though. I'm on Instagram. I'm going to reactivate Instagram later. I go through these periods where I just want to disappear. So I'll deactivate a lot of stuff. But Instagram, I'm sticking with. Instagram at Your Cult Boyfriend. You won't be able to see it right now, but after the stream, I'll probably reactivate it. Yeah, that third one was pretty awful. But yes, Shattered Glass. Yeah. Paul Reiser. I got there eventually, Professor. I got there eventually. I had to sound it out in my head and figure it out. But yeah. Yeah, I love that character, especially in the Alien movies. Seems like a company took over most of the world. Yeah, exactly. Alien Queen is fucking rad. Alien Queen is so cool, dude. Love the Alien Queen. I feel like people are too hard on Alien Resurrection. I like it. And earlier I was fanboying out over Joss Whedon. You can see some of the Whedon in Alien Resurrection. He worked on a version of the script or something, or maybe he actually wrote the script itself. I don't fucking remember at this point. But you can feel some Whedon-esque stuff in it, and I do appreciate it. Also, wow, Winona Ryder was so pretty back then. Still pretty now. I don't know why I had to say back then, but like, wow. And Brad Dourif in that movie being all fucking weird with the alien while it's in like I don't know, some containment, and Ron Perlman being awesome. Was that the same fucking director as Amelie or something? Because now I think back, the movie had I don't want to say cute French feel, but the colors were the same. I have a computer in front of me. I can figure this stuff out. Alien Resurrection. Jean-Pierre Jeunet sounds like the guy who would have directed Amelie, but it's not. Fuck. Who directed Amelie then? But he did City of Lost Children and Delicatessen. Who's the director of Amelie, gang? Oh, the same guy, Jean-Pierre Jeunet. It just, for some reason, Wikipedia. Oh, there it is. There it is. It is on his Wikipedia. It's just buried beneath Alien Resurrection, The City of Lost Children, and Delicatessen. If I were to write a little bio on him, I probably would have made that one of the first things I'd say about him is, hey, he directed Amelie, guys. But interestingly shot. There's no defense of Alien 3. I don't want to hear a defense of Alien 3. David Fincher's fucking terrible first. That's one of the worst debuts I've ever seen. I don't care about assembly cuts. It's awful. I can't tell the difference between these bald fucking British men running around. I can't. Except for Charles Dance, and they got rid of him real quick. He was really good in it. Whiplash is one of the critical darling movies, structured objectively well, but fails to really inspire. And I'm an old television guy, so I know him as the biggest fucking piece of shit Nazi in the world on Oz, and it's really weird seeing him do so well late. Like he was like, oh my god, if I told you the stuff he did on that show, I'd get demonetized and banned from YouTube. Like in my mind, he was so good at playing that character that I don't really need to see much more of J.K. Simmons outside of Juno. because we all love some Juno. Yeah, not really a Twitter person. I just got one this year, but you you have a Substack? I don't even know what Substack is, man. Brad Dourif is the definition of fab. Where was I even? That's the Shawshank Redemption. We put every time we see Shawshank, no matter what the context, we put it in the F tier. That's a rule here. Freddy Krueger, put at the top of the A tier. I love me some Freddy Krueger. Really cool franchise. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the first one's obviously the best one, and it's a masterful film from Craven. You can actually deeply analyze Freddy Krueger. The first film has these kind of Christian motifs in it that really do vibe well with like the kind of pop surrealist atmosphere that Craven's like conjuring in that movie. I hated New Nightmare, but Dream Warriors was phenomenal. I love that movie. It's so much fun. Welcome to Prime Time, bitch. I wish that number 2, Freddy's Revenge, was better because of all the gay subtext. I find that interesting to play with, but the movie just kind of sucks. A Dream Master is really fun. Dream Child has one cool death in it. It's that comic book one. Freddy's Dead is bullshit. So, I mean, overall, though, there's like 2 or 3 good movies in there because Freddy versus Jason is rad. But as a character, he's great. He's great. He was sanitized over time, but he was always outrageous and provocative. Thanos, really? F. I hate that like the Thanos snap is like a maybe not anymore, but for a few years it was like a philosophical discussion. Like that's like that. Like that's a cool debate to have. Like fuck off, everybody. I don't know what that is. What is this? What's that from? Hey, Oren Ishii. Got another S tier. And I like her so much in that movie. That is Oren Ishii, right? Not crazy. Yeah, absolutely. That's Lucy Liu and Kill Bill. Um, oh my god, I love her so much in that movie, and the whole fight, the whole lead up with her, the bride versus like the crazy 88s or whatever, and ending with that beautiful sword fight in the snow. It's just beautifully done. Tarantino like grew so much as with his shot composition as a director between Jackie Brown and Kill Bill, like grew an amount that seems impossible. Like he might have sold his soul to the devil because, oh my god, like it was so visually compelling and like full of style, full of this amazing postmodern thought that is so unique to Tarantino. And with Lucy Liu, we get some cool ass fucking shit. I love her, like the character's anime intro was amazing. I love her silly rabbit tricks are for kids. These lines, I love Lucy Liu to death in Kill Bill 2, Kill Bill 1. She was amazing. So far, she's my favorite villain that we've covered. Yeah. I think. Man, you calling me sloppy right now? I hate you. I hate you now. Always seem to be sloppy. Man. Hate you too, man. What is that about? Sorry, dude. It's my style. Please don't say you love the remake. Grr. Remake. What? What did I cover? Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street? No. No, I don't love the remake. Neither Rooney Mara nor Kyle Gallner being in it, neither of them could save that movie from being awful. I'm glad that Jackie Earle Haley was forgotten. Watchmen's one of the most overrated movies ever, and we allowed too many people from that movie to like get a ridiculous amount of stardom from it. Like he wasn't even that good as Rorschach. Yeah, oh no, 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 no! I hate Juno. That's what I meant to say. Okay, I thought so because like, you and I are cool, right? I love Juno. I made that analysis of Juno, and even like some of you guys are like, "What the fuck, man? This movie sucks," and you guys just don't get it. That movie rocks. That movie's so good. Nightmare on Elm Street really got hampered. Wasn't continuous continuity. Well, let's not complain about continuity in 80s horror franchises. Look at Friday the 13th or Texas Chainsaw or definitely Halloween for that matter. Dream Master is your stepfather's favorite movie. It's goofy and fun. Goofy and fun. I snapped Thanos. That's right. I mean, I didn't find any of that shit compelling. The only Nightmare on Elm Street films I really enjoy the first and third, to be honest. Basically with you, only I think Freddy versus Jason is great. It's so good. It's really good. And not just because Monica Keena, our girl fucking Abby Morgan, is the star of that movie, but for a multitude of reasons. That movie is insane. That movie is fucking bonkers, and Freddy versus Jason rules. But the best, legitimately the greatest ones are the third and the first. Right on, Kawan. ML, how are you? Hope you're doing great. Hi, just got done teaching some 13-year-olds in a film camp. They wore me out, so I'm especially glad I'm catching your live. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing a little okay right now. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow that could have some pretty positive impact on my health conditions. So like things might be looking up soon. Apart from that, I'm just chilling out, fucking goofing around with some with some stupid tier. But you teach kids you teach kids in a film camp? It's fucking cool. A, I didn't know there was a film camp. B, I didn't know that you taught kids in film camp. So that's fun. Oh, you're talking a voice app. I use voice app. I figured you did. I put that together over time. I always love hearing from you, Kaiwan. But sometimes I even see in your thing, you're like, you say stop or send in it sometimes. So like I get what you're doing. It's all good. I'm just happy to talk with you, man. We all are. Okay, let's get more to it here. Who is that? The fuck is that? What? That's Lena Headey, right? Is that Lena Headey? Headey, whatever. I don't know what that is. Is that her? Is that even her? I know who Plankton is. He can hang out with the Matilda person. Agent Smith, you can go to the C tier. I have nothing to say about the Matrix. I don't even know what this is from. It's a terrible picture to use, but at least I know what Ozymandias's biceps looked like. Dude, if it was a comic book, if you were talking about Alan Moore's book right now, Ozymandias would be S tier. I love it. I like that he's the most psychopathic person in the world, because if you are the smartest person on the planet, you are that far removed from the average person, which literally makes you psychotic and insane. You see, that's a better... Alan Moore created a better discussion about it than Thanos. Like, Thanos, this is old hat. Let's have the Ozymandias debate. Because if you agree with him, you're a psychotic, homicidal madman. I like him in the comics so much. In the film, Matthew Good didn't do terribly. It's C tier stuff. Didn't do... Like, Watchmen's not a terrible film. I just think it's so overrated. And I think that Zack Snyder's composition betrays how literal of an adaptation he was doing for the most part. Like, the composition just made it look so like cool, and I feel like it's supposed to be the opposite of that. It's not supposed to like meditate on set pieces. It's supposed to ruminate somberly. Like, it's not a happy fucking book. Doc Ock. You can also go to the B tier. What's the dog from? Is that just Cujo? Is that Cujo? Is that what Cujo looks like? Is that Cujo? Let me see. Because I haven't seen it in a million years. I don't remember what the... I'm pretty sure that's Cujo. Guess what? I'm not afraid of... I don't care about dogs. Bane. You got to hang out on the D tier, Bane. You can hang out at the top of it. But it's fucking weird. During the... people... I don't know if Nolan gets called out on his weird conservative shit sometimes, but he really should. Like Bane's that came out when Occupy Wall Street was like a hot topic, a hot issue. Kids thought they were changing the world. Like that's my generation. We thought we were changing the world by challenging like the structure of the elite, the power structure of it, the hierarchy that they like forced within our lives that we have to live according to. And Bane, like the first thing he does is he goes to Wall Street and parrots Occupy Wall Street's like positions and he's the bad guy. And he's the fucking bad guy, apparently. His conversation didn't go as well as Anarchy with Heath Ledger's Joker. Anarchy versus fascism works a lot more than what was Bane even representing in that discussion? Just like what the fuck was he even talking about there? I have no idea what he was talking about there. Let's see some comments. You have cerebral palsy, in a wheelchair, can't really use my hands all that good. Hey, you don't need to use your hands to hang out with us, man. But I always like talking to you. I like seeing you around. I don't mind that sometimes it's difficult to read. You're cool with me. From Watership Down is a yeah, okay, Watership Down though. I feel it's good, but I feel betrayed by movies that are clearly made to traumatize children. Like, there's no other reason. There's no other reason for that film to exist. Like, and I'm thinking about how long it takes to make films like that. Like, they had to be so dedicated and determined to traumatize little kids. Like, they stuck to it, man. That is such a fucked up movie. Like, never revisit that one. It's one of the most fucked up movies. It's good though. I think Zack Snyder is a genius with films. Like, seems like the studio doesn't trust him to make a real art, and sometimes it gets too arty. But okay, why does all of Zack Snyder's fucking ideas though cost like $500 million to make? Does he have any intimate idea in his bones? Like, does he have like any smaller scale thing? Why does everything he make have to be like connected to some $1 billion fucking IP or idea? I don't take him seriously as a filmmaker. I really don't. He's a bit too fucking Randian for my taste. Even like he injects that into almost everything that he does. Snyder's weird, man. I think that the release the Snyder Cut thing was awesome and rad, and we should definitely bully more studios into honoring directors' visions and releasing stuff that we want to see or whatever. Like I didn't want to see it at all. The worst thing about that fucking release the Snyder Cut thing was that whole fiasco was that Joss Whedon had to become like the villain of the narrative. And I'm like, you fucking guys don't know. Joss Whedon's a genius. I don't care that the Justice League sucked. He's made several masterpieces before. You know, he had to become the villain of the narrative because he came into as a hired gun to try to fix what a studio thought was a messy situation or whatever. I don't fucking care. Zack Snyder to me though sucks. I don't like any of his movies. Cujo is not a villain. Okay, I don't even remember like the setup of the story. Like I don't really remember why Cujo was as rabid as it was. Did he just have rabies? Zach did a pretty good job with Watchmen. Like if I had to pick like a Zack Snyder film, I like most or I dislike the least, it might be Watchmen. Like, I'm not going to tell you that opening credits isn't cool as fuck with the times are changing. That's cool. Like, it almost feels like he understands what he's doing there. It's just everything else after that. No. Definitely didn't like his Dawn of the Dead remake at all. And I like Sarah Polley a lot. Wishing you well. I genuinely hope you get good news tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully. I had an important doc appointment today, and I got good news too. Now I can sleep easy for the first time in a while. That's great. That's great. Happy for you. I always love seeing you, ML. Film camp sounds fucking awesome. Cujo is a victim of circumstances. We need justice for Cujo in the chat, honestly. Nolan wasted Bane. I mean, I don't know if he wasted Bane. I don't know how much there was to really use. And I've read like Vengeance of Bane. I read like the Chuck Dixon, like older stuff. From what I saw, Nolan used a lot of it. So like, I'm really not sure how much there was to use of Bane. Like I read Nightfall and Vengeance of Bane, the old, I think it was Chuck Dixon who wrote his big stories. It was because of Antifa, something. Well, it goes to show you what side fucking Nolan's on. Like Crowder, I don't like Crowder at all, but I don't think it was intended for kids. The novel was for adults. I remember. Why do I think I remember reading the novel in like at least middle school or something, or younger? No, it's written for adults. The film for adults too? Well, okay, parents don't fucking know that shit. Parents will see a okay, maybe not. Hold on. Maybe parents wouldn't see this and say like share it with your kids. This is the most fucking scary poster I've ever seen in my life. Okay, maybe parents wouldn't see this poster and go, definitely gotta show little Timmy and little Jane that fucking movie, dude. Oh my god, that's insane. I just remember being shown it by my parents as like it's animated, so it must be for kids. That kind of mentality. Plague Dogs is the same scary children's movie. Never watched Plague Dogs. Like Secret of NIMH's all right. It's a lot less heartbreaking than Watership Down. I don't get why Nolan made Bane a charlatan. He spewed all that anti-fascist shit, and literally one of the plot twists is that he didn't even mean it. It was all a ploy. See, I'm not even like remembering that. It's so I don't even remember it. And it might be even more dangerous at the fact that I remember I remember the anti-fascist stuff he was saying, but I don't remember the twist, and which is so awful, right? Because now he's like, everyone who spews that anti-fascist shit is secretly like a fucking fascist or something. I don't even know what he's saying. But Nolan, I think, reveals a lot of his politics in his movies, but everyone's just really cool with it for some reason. And I think it's like some of the wildest shit, man. They're not kids' movies just because they're animated. Okay. Maybe. I've been guilty of not really giving animated movies a fair shake. Not my cup of tea, not my things. But that was the mentality, at least. And I was definitely shown Watership Down by my parents, who had that psychology, that frame of mind. They're like, it's animated movie, must be for kids, gotta show my kids that. I mean, of course it wouldn't show me like Fritz the cat or anything. I would hope they'd have more sense than that, but remember, that's the way it was back then. Zach's style of substance. Yeah, maybe. Zack Snyder is awful. I hate him. Thank you, Horrid Films. Thank you. Because like, even if he is style over substance, his style is not good. It's not good. And I know a couple people who might say that style is substance. I only like Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, and that's it for me. Yeah. I didn't even like that, though. They are kids' movies. Watership Down is made for children in the UK. Who fucking knows, man? Who fucking knows? All I know is I don't like it. Or I like it. I just think, holy shit, it's abusive to show kids that movie. For me, Joss Whedon makes movies for kids. I put him in the kids category. When it comes to superhero movies like Buffy, I don't consider it superhero. I consider that blah, blah, blah. Kids for kids. The entirety of season 6 is Buffy getting railed behind a McDonald's and trying to kill herself. That's not for kids, Kaiwan. It's not for kids at all. Also, Dollhouse is extremely not for kids. No, Buffy's operating on a level that Jean-Paul Sartre did when he wrote Nausea. Buffy is extremely complicated. It's just rabies? Oh, okay. Well, fuck Stephen King, guys. Let's get in the chat. The Worms Hole video on Zack Snyder? Pretty good video. No, I haven't watched it. I don't think I've watched any video by The Worms Hole. I think I know who that is, though. But I'm bad at watching other people's videos. Also, if it was about Zack Snyder, I would never watch it. Yeah, Nolan did a barless, cartoony world of Batman. It didn't do bad. Like, I like The Dark Knight. I kind of don't like Batman Begins or Rise too much. But you probably haven't read Watership Down. I remember reading it. I thought I read it in like middle school. I don't remember anything about it though. And you have to have your signature there. Fair enough. Plague Dogs, good movie. I don't even know what Plague Dogs is. It has dogs being experimented on in a lab. Oh shit! So it's like hardcore Watership Down. It's like way cooler. Yeah, Fritz. Now there's a kids movie. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, of course I know that there are. That doesn't. Of course I know that not all animated movies are for kids. I'm just being a dick. Hey, Republicans are allowed. We can all hang out. It's just Nolan's view of anti-fascism is idiotic, insincere, and intolerable. I know you're anti-anime. See, Professor Strangefinger. I'm not the best when it comes to animation. I'm not very open about it. I know you're anti-anime. Angel's Egg. I've heard of. Okay, I've had a million people recommend me Belladonna of Sadness and Angel's Egg both. Like Jane from Stylist Substance loves that stuff. I'm pretty sure everybody I know loves that stuff. I just I don't know. I'm not impressed by animation. I don't like it. Like, it's not really something that interests me. It's not something I can connect with. It's not something that keeps my attention. You can call it a flaw within me, but I know I know what I like, and I don't like animation. And I think I've watched Angel's Egg or something, or at least tried. I don't know. I'm never really gonna give animation a chance. It's just not gonna happen. I know not everyone's okay. I know that not every animated movie is made for kids. I watched Akira. Once again, I just don't like it. We're having a great debate there. I mean, when he's not doing Buffy, oh, okay. The stuff he does outside of Buffy is more for kids. Like Dollhouse is for adults. Firefly. If you go back and watch Firefly, they definitely. I know that Joss ended up making the Avengers, but like Jon Favreau and like early Marvel was totally cribbing Joss's style, especially with dialogue. Like, that's Marvel humor. That's Joss Whedon humor. They just stole it from Firefly. And Serenity, I think, is a bit more. I don't know. Serenity. I can understand what you're saying there. When it's not Buffy or Dollhouse, it's for younger people. Definitely Dr. Horrible's sing along blog was, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, and I'm not saying stuff that's made for kids is bad either. Like, that's another thing. I'm not saying it's bad. All right, we cool, Professor. I never had an interest in Nolan's films. Michael Mann is one of his biggest influences. Thank you for bringing that up. I don't know why I didn't bring up Heat when I was talking about Dark Knight earlier. I normally do that out of compulsion. But his films will never reach the same heights of a Mann film in my mind. Michael Mann's fantastic. Heat's amazing. Miami Vice amazing. Thief is amazing. We can just list all of Mann's films. They're mostly amazing, except for like The Keep or something. I love Michael Mann to death. Have you ever seen... I think it was for like one of Heat's anniversaries, and Nolan was interviewing Michael Mann, and he was talking about like Like the shots in it, like a particular shot, and it was so powerful. And he's like, "What were you thinking when you framed it in such a gloriously impactful way?" And Michael Mann's like, "I was just trying to get the best possible take." Like, I love that because you see Nolan die a little inside, dude. It's great. Um, thing is, like, man, man can be on a more conservative or fascist side, but like his Heat ending with justice and criminality holding each other's hand in the fucking night, silhouetted beautifully, like intimately. It's a level of maturity and sophistication that not only Nolan can't reach, but most people who make crime epics don't even come close. And my favorite Michael Mann is Manhunter, for the record. It still is Manhunter. He was outrageous there. Let's throw a few more people up here. Oh, is that Split? Fucking hated Split. I hated Split to death. It was a joke, right? Didn't he like dance like some Kanye song? It was just not even good. It was just a bad. M. Night Shyamalan is bad too. I know he's been reclaimed by contrarian cinephiles, but I think he's a bad filmmaker. And this is Bill. The only problem with like Kill Bill is that Bill is like the least interesting villain. Like out of everyone on that list, he's the most. It's the least interesting one to engage with, and put him at the end of the C tier. And that's why I like Kill Bill 1 more than 2, and also I like to split them up because I don't know how Tarantino would have edited it to make the 4 hours feel a bit different, but the way we have it, 2 to me degrades a little bit in quality, a little bit, not a lot, just like a little. And Kill Bill 1 to me ends with one of the most phenomenal action scenes ever filmed with one of my favorite villains of all time, Oren Ishii. I don't really care about Bill's little Superman monologue. I don't care about him at all. Jack Nicholson's Joker is dope. He gets to go in the B tier. I like him. Commodus, man, he's good too. Put him at the B tier. I can't believe Gladiator 2 exists, but he was so creepy. Joaquin was so fucking good in Gladiator 1. Oh Lord. Who are who who are these two people? Are they from like the same movie? I don't know who they are. I know that is Cate Blanchett from one of the Thor movies, and she can go in the D tier. Anton Chigurh, you can go to the S tier, buddy, above the Joker. Phenomenal conversations to be had about fate, about Grim Reaper, about meaning hunting you down, purpose itself hunting you down within a nihilistic world, or even nihilism hunting you down within a meaningful one. Yeah. I've seen Fantastic Planet at least. Don't hate it. I just don't care about it. Ralph Bakshi. Like I hate fantasy movies, but the movie I grew up with The Hobbit. I think Ralph Bakshi made that one, right? Like grew up with The Hobbit, smashing plates. That's what Bilbo Baggins hates. Oh my god, animation. Zach, your video on Collateral is absolutely amazing. Folks in the chat, watch it if you haven't. Oh, thank you. I think you're you're unique in thinking that it's amazing. Most people don't like it. I think that video is almost ratioed. I thought it was good. I'd be too embarrassed to watch it myself because it's like a couple years old by now. But I put a lot of effort into analyzing Collateral. Thank you for reminding me about Collateral. That's a great movie. It's great. He's fucking great. Manhunter is a powerful film, but it is better than Silence of the Lambs. So much better. God, it's so good. One of the best movies ever. I fucking love it. Bill wasn't really that good of a villain. I agree with you, Kaiwan. Right? For me, Bakshi's movies are unappealing aesthetically. I don't love or hate them. just don't like the art design. Did he also do? Is it called like American Pop or something? It's almost like a compilation animation with like different songs from obviously the history of American pop. Oh, those are Star Wars villains. See, I don't fucking know about Star Wars really, not too much. Used to like Ralph as a kid, but as I got older, I stopped liking his work. I know he's someone in the animation world that a lot of people love. Who's Shigor? I'm like, who's Chigger, man? Who did I come across? Anton, he's great. Okay, I see it. I'm like, when did I say that? He's phenomenal. Javier Bardem, so good. So good. Remember, like, what, 2 years in a row, great villain actors were recognized by the Academy because he won Best Supporting. Then a year later, what's his name? Christoph Waltz won for Hans Landa. Damn, Cate Blanchett as Hela was so hot though. She was very hot in that movie. But that can't get you out of the F tier if you decided to be in Thor fucking 3. Just didn't like the digital cinematography. I liked it within no, I like it the way Mann uses it. The only time he uses it and it's kind of fucking weird is Public Enemies, his Dillinger movie. He didn't really have a handle over that compositionally, but it's still not a terrible movie. I liked it in Collateral. It made it feel a bit more immediate. It made LA look a lot less appealing and somehow still as unique and as intoxicating as Michael Mann normally films his cities. I think that by the time of Miami Vice, that digital cinematography is out of this world. So meaningful. So you guys know about American Pop? I would have liked if American Pop used an original soundtrack and didn't rip. Oh, I don't even know. You guys know more. I just remember that vaguely as a movie someone was trying to get me to watch and cover it on the channel years ago, and I never did watch or cover it. If Anton Chigurh made you flip the coin, would you? I used to think I'd do what Kelly MacDonald did, but now I'm not so sure. I mean, you'd have to call it. Because inaction is still action, right? I mean, he still killed her. Existential inertia will still lead you to death. You gotta pick. Him with Woody Harrelson, though, sitting there and going, if the rule you followed led you to this, of what use was the rule? Oh my God. Fucking God, it's so good. Agree about the soundtrack. Soundtrack's dope. Well, actually, I don't know. Didn't watch the fucking sound. Didn't watch the movie. I'm just agreeing. Because I trust you too. Okay. Hey, this guy was fucked up, yo. This guy could go to the B tier. That Frollo or whatever his name is from Hunchback, he was fucking crazy. Can't believe there's a whole Disney song about wanting so bad to fuck a gypsy that you'll burn down an entire fucking city. Like, that is insane. Yo. Yeah, he gets to hang out at the B tier. Right beneath Commodus, where he belongs. That, like, Coco. I like the movie Coco. I don't care about the villain of it. I didn't even remember there was a villain until I saw him there. But I like Coco, actually. That's fine. It's a good movie. Like, what is that from? What disease is that? And I don't know who that is, by the way. That's clearly Darth Maul, who had a cool fight once. Is that as the devil in the Devil's Advocate? Who fucking made this list? This is wild. I don't like the movie The Devil's Advocate, though. I thought Al Pacino did terribly. Christopher Lee in Star Wars is awful. Was he I didn't watch The Martian. Was he the villain of The Martian? I thought he was The Martian. I don't know who that is. That's the bad guy from Thunderball. In the F. Emperor can go hang out on the D tier. Where are cool people at? That's another Bond villain. Oh my God. Sorry. Wait, that's the Green Goblin. Who was this? Who was that? Okay, if that's not the Green Goblin, then who is he? Because I see the Green Goblin coming up here. Sorry. Yeah. Are they separating Norman from the Green Goblin? I don't understand. Is that a different guy? Is he different there? Is Tony Montana here? Because Tony Montana is actually the villain of Scarface, everybody. We can't just include his old boss. But I mean, he can go and hang out on the C tier if he wants. Jack Nicholson in The Departed can go to the C tier. I hated Django Unchained. I thought everyone was terrible in it. Goldfinger? Okay, now it's just getting stupid. Now I have nothing to say. Hans Gruber, though. I do love Alan Rickman's acting, his portrayal. Dude, S tier. I don't care if that's basic of me to put Hans Gruber in the S tier. Oh my God, elevated that archetype, elevated the role of action movie villain, like late 80s action villain, into high art. Like, he was so good. Remember in Die Hard where like McClane finds him, so Gruber pretends to be like just some guy like him who was like caught up in this frenzy, like this normal American guy, and they have a sort of talk with each other. Like, it was good. Like, John McTiernan is actually pretty decent. And with Die Hard, there's a lot of fucking intelligent shit going on there that elevates it to a really interesting kind of movie for me, without ever betraying the fun of an 80s action movie. Hans Gruber to me is excellent. Whoever said we were terrorists? Like, come on, dude, that's so incredible. Let's see some of the chat. Sure gives me chills just thinking of that movie. So good. Javier, man. Javier is so good. Blew my mind. Blew my mind when I first saw that in theaters. That was fun. Yeah, the hair really does it. The hair really did it for me. That's COVID-19. How do you know that on site, dude? How did you know that? Is that COVID-19? If so, fucking F tier, dude. I hated that. He is the villain because there is actual Martians. Oh, I don't. Fuck. I thought the movie was about him being stranded in his like heroic return home. That's what I thought it was about. Al Pacino overacted too much in Devil's Advocate. Yeah, he did. And Keanu Reeves is not a good actor. So, like, it's not like he had something to bounce off of. I think Keanu Reeves is cool. Terrible actor. We're not going to reevaluate him so much that, like, we actually believe he's good. Charlize Theron, wonderful in The Devil's Advocate, though. She was great. Yeah, Willem Dafoe. Yeah, like, that's him, right? Like, is that him as Harry Osborn, though? Because I see, like, I'm not Harry, Norman Osborn, a Green Goblin. I see Green Goblin coming up, so I'm like confused as fuck, you know? Damn was a villain in Interstellar? Oh, Damon was a villain in Interstellar. I didn't like it. That's not him in American. That's not American Psycho. I don't even remember Willem Dafoe in American Psycho. Honestly. I remember, obviously, Bale and Justin Theroux and Jared Leto. Was he in American Psycho? He wasn't. Oh, he was a detective. Why is the detective the villain? No, the villain of American Psycho is Patrick fucking Bateman. You're right. That is him in American Psycho. That's ridiculous. Oh my God. No, Patrick Bateman is the bad guy. Everybody, Patrick Bateman, say it with me, is the bad guy of American Psycho. Wow. Thank you, Kaiwan. I would have never guessed that. I didn't even remember he was in that movie. He's so forgettable in the film. It doesn't hold up. No, not at all. Well, okay. Damon was a villain in Interstellar. One thing I can't get over in Django Unchained is that he's a slave that doesn't know how to read, yet knows the D is silent in his name. Hey, man, not gonna engage with that movie at all. It's probably the one film by Tarantino that I outright dislike. Like, I just don't like it. I think he misfired pretty radically. I don't know who made this list. I typed in best movie villains, and then the ultimate villain tier came up. So it's crazy. Yep, he's an American Psycho. You're absolutely right. I just forgot about him completely. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. It's just he looks exactly like Harry Osborn. There's nothing changing it there. But you have to be an American Psycho expert to have known that that wasn't fucking Norman Osborn or whatever, the Green Goblin. He's a very nice, likable guy. I like him. We all know his acting is limited, but it doesn't mean you can't use his limited acting well. He's not good. Like, My Own Private Idaho uses his limited acting well within their weird postmodern Shakespearean stuff. Point Break uses his acting well because it's a goofy fucking movie. He's a very likable guy. It's just, in The Devil's Advocate, he wasn't really playing a likable person, so he really had to rely a lot on his talent, which is very minimal at best. I don't know who made this list. On Keanu's acting, I'd have to get reminded of it. I do remember an old Zach Galifianakis joke where he's at the piano and he's like, sometimes when I'm sad, I'd like to sit by myself in an empty movie theater on a Saturday afternoon and just go, you understand me, Keanu. I remember that joke. Django Unchained, I feel the postmodernist sort of he just couldn't nail it. It was just ridiculous. It was just bad. Bale's performance as Bateman. Wow, fuck. As Bateman is such a strange and rare gem in cinema. It's strange. It's good. It's good. Justin Theroux did really well in it too as his friend, and a couple of his scenes got cut, and I wish they didn't because he was very good too. It's just I think his best moments ended up on the cutting room floor. Justin Theroux is underrated. Bale's performance was great in American Psycho. I just think that if we kept Justin Theroux's entire performance in there, we'd also be saying that he was great too. What are we even looking at here? What the hell? No, I don't know who that is. Hold on. Bro. I don't understand what's going on. Hannibal Lecter. Go with the B tier with all them, dude. So can Jack. Jack Torrance go to the A tier. We like Jack Torrance. And I like Jason. Jason can hang out above the principal on the B tier. Friday the 13th, I like I don't like maybe I like part 1. I like part 1, part 2, part 4 a lot, and Freddy versus Jason. So I think technically I like more Jason movies than Freddy movies, but there's also just more Jason movies than Freddy movies. And there could be stuff to analyze with Jason. I just don't feel like it because I feel like that almost misses the point of the stupid fucking movies. But it's fun to look at their impact, right? Or like what those films were punishing in the most half-assed way possible, because a lot of horror movie villains are puritanical in a sense. Like they don't want kids to fuck, they don't want people to drink and party and express personal freedom. So horror movie villains will punish them for that. But with Jason, it's so half-assed because the movies are so exploitative that like it really doesn't actually care about any of that. It's fun though. It's also about like the moral indecency that brings irresponsibility, right? Because Jason died in the lake because he wasn't being watched. People weren't there to help him save him from drowning. It's just that the arguments are so insincere for that it's difficult to analyze or really interact with. Uh, I think the Friday the 13th series, the impact isn't actually what it's saying, but how the audience interacted with it, which is like cheering and like knowing exactly what's coming next. You know, Friday the 13th really taught the language of slashers, like paint by numbers, made sure that every audience member, if you saw more than two Friday the 13th movies, you were fluent in the language of the slasher film. And that's interesting. It laid out an entire genre framework for people to understand completely. That's very cool. Jar Jar Binks, yeah, sure, F tier. I'm just going random now, guys. Kevin Spacey as a person is pretty bad. Pretty bad guy. Dude, what? I'm just not engaging with the obvious, like fucking whatever. I don't care. I mean, I care, but at the same time, I'm not about to talk about Kevin Spacey right now. I don't feel like it. John Doe was great, did a great job. Okay. Immortan Joe can go on the D tier. I like Mad Max movies. They don't have like memorable villains though, do they? They're like even like, Humongous, was that the guy in Road Warriors name? Like they're not memorable. Oh, sorry. What the fuck am I saying? Tina Turner in Beyond Thunderdome is unforgettable. Never mind. Forget everything I just fucking said. Immortan Joe's just a bad villain. Tina Turner in Beyond Thunderdome, yes. Yes. I love her to death. She was hot as fuck, everybody. Moving on to wait, I don't even know where my place is anymore. I don't even know who like a lot of these people are. Hey, Hal, hang out on the S tier, Hal. I may be hard on 2001 lately, maybe harsh on it, but Hal gave me chills, made my heart skip a few beats, made me afraid to move when I first saw the film, and it still happens to this day. Like Hal, stuff with Hal works so well. Brilliant. Brilliant. One of the best villains ever. You know? Scar is whatever. Scar can go on the C tier. He's whatever, dude. That's the V for Vendetta guy? Okay. I can count on you, Kaiwan. This guy right here. See, I don't even recognize him. So, like, I have to put him at F just simply because I don't remember him. But now that you pointed out, it looks like him, don't it? Don't remember him. Is this one of the Munguses? I'll put him in F tier too. I'm just getting rid of this stuff. Yo, Gary Oldman and Leon, though, is great. He can hang out in the S tier too. He was absolutely insane. He didn't just chew the scenery, he swallowed it whole, and I was there for it. Oh my god, listening to fucking Beethoven with those silly fucking earbuds, relishing his work as like this fucking psychotic cop. Oh my god, I loved him in that film. Loved him in that film. No, he's at the end of the S tier. I'm not going to move him, but he's S tier. He was so good. Like, I love it. Like, just like Hans Gruber, when you get an actor of a certain caliber in a role that would normally be just whatever, and they do something so interesting and engaging and entertaining with it that you don't even know what to do. Yeah. This list is bonkers and assembled by someone alien to this planet. Hopefully, that would be the only thing to explain it. And it's fucking long. Like, hold on. Well, I can't even. I mean, I guess I'm near the end. But still, though, it's long. And I don't want to, in the middle of talking about these fictional people, talk about Kevin Spacey and his real life allegations. Who knows? They put the magical thing in Friday the 13th. There really was no magical things in there. They made him like supernatural in Jason 6. So yeah, that happened. But it's like just like everything else, like you can't take it seriously within Jason. Even the first one seemed like such a money grabbing opportunity that I couldn't take it seriously. Definitely a Halloween and Black Christmas ripoff. Oh, that's Kevin Spacey in the Cat movie? Oh my god, the Cat movie. Come on, how are you recognizing these people just so immediately? Okay, at least it's not the real whatever. He belongs in F anyway. I don't even remember that movie. If you had to choose one film, American Psycho, Rules of Attraction, Less Than Zero, what is the best um, adaptation or movie in general? I mean, we know it. We know it's Rules of Attraction. That's the best. Easily the best. I don't think American Psycho is really that great of an adaptation of the book. I don't think Mary Harron went as hardcore as she should have. Rules of Attraction, though, it dives directly into the nihilism and the overwhelming like nihilistic shock and awe of the piece. Like it really dived into it, and talk about a beautiful cast. Christian Bale can be as genius as he wants in American Psycho, but you can't compete with Ian Somerhalder as Paul. Like so great, so sexy, so nihilistic and wonderful to be around. Shannon Sossamon, Jessica Biel, James Van Der Beek totally deconstructing his public image before our eyes. Kate Bosworth and Roger Avery reminding us, showing us that he was one half of this Pulp Fiction screenplay and he understands postmodernism extremely well. Rules of Attraction, definitely. But I don't hate Less Than Zero as a movie. It's not like a great adaptation or anything, but that would have been a perfect cast. Robert Downey Jr. as Julian and Andrew McCarthy as Clay and Jamie Gertz. That would have been perfect. It would have been perfect if it actually went harder on it. You know what I mean? But Rules of Attraction, without a doubt, is the best adaptation of his work that I've seen personally. Mad Max movies, yeah. Right. Right, yeah. Witness me. Speaking of Hal Sparks is live, so I gotta go. Thanks, Zach, and all. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Professor. 2001, I always found boring, but Hal is one of the best villains. I'm coming around to your side. I think is like boring now too, and I also think that it's trying to answer way more than it possibly can, and I find that a bit blind and narcissistic of Kubrick. And I do think that Kubrick made cold movies. I know that some of us disagree here, but I think he was cold. And I think 2001 is especially cold. You consider that adds to the piece, and it does add to the piece. It doesn't take away from the fact that he is a cold filmmaker. But the Hal part with Care Dolia and the Underwood actor, the guy from Jack Demmy's Model Shop and the guy from Black Christmas, like they were great. They were great. The dynamic, the frightening one with Hal was wonderful. It's just I don't give a fuck about Star Children or the first 30 something minutes of that movie. Everyone. Everyone. Yes. Gary Oldman fucking killing it. Bring in everyone. He's so good. He's so fucking good. Gotta go to work. Thanks for stopping in, Kyle. I always love talking to you, man. I would believe it if fucking COVID-19 wasn't on it, apparently. No, this is somebody. Somebody compiled this. Somebody probably compiled this during quarantine, though. So we're seeing like this is quarantine mind on endless streaming and nothing else to do. Maybe some villains you I'll do that in 1 second. Oh, did he? I would assume so. He seemed to be more involved with that one, right? Than the production of his other films. I think Less Than Zero would work well as a limited one-off series. I might have to adapt it one day. You do it. That'd be great. It just pisses me off because Robert Downey Jr. in the 80s was the perfect Julian. The perfect one. Like you had him. I want to see Robert Downey Jr. being a fucking gay male prostitute in a hotel room in fucking LA. Like that's what the movie was supposed to like climax with, right? God damn it. Okay, but name some villains you appreciate that aren't listed here. Well, first, let me just go. I'm gonna get off this tier and just see if I find any other ones that I like love that are on here. Well, I don't see my favorite villain of all time here at all. Um, so I'm actually gonna get off that tier, I think, because my favorite villain isn't even here. I don't see her. Yeah, she's not here. Whoever made this list now is dead to me. The greatest villain of all time is Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's the greatest villain from all time. Her or Nancy Downs from The Craft. Those are my two favorite villains. Probably Nancy Downs is my favorite villain. That is my favorite villain, but when I think of great movie villains, the first one that comes to mind is Nurse Ratched, and then I start thinking about some of the others. Nancy from The Craft, Fairuza Balk, beautiful villain. I would say she's my number one. Nurse Ratched is number two. Number three, Ghostface as an entire personality. Ghostface as a concept. I might even like him more than Nurse Ratched. Those are my three favorite villains. Is number one Nancy Downs, Ghostface as an entire concept throughout the first four films, and Nurse Ratched would be number three. Who are some other cool villains? To think I first found out about Leon the Professional from this old guy I used to work with at my old job. Yeah, we all find out about the Professional in weird ways. And then you do any sort of digging on the movie itself, and you're like, God, I wish I didn't learn anything about it because what's his name? Luc Besson is extremely problematic, and Natalie Portman. Oh my God, you feel weird watching that movie. Gross watching that movie. But Gary Oldman is so good. So fucking good. That's it. The chick from The Craft. Yes, she's the best. She's so fucking good. She could radicalize me. All right. If I was ignored, like abused, alternative, witchy fucking girl from a trailer park, yeah, and I was given the powers of a god, I would want to be a god and I would want to punish people, especially like the stuck up new girl who's trying to betray our sisterhood. She can radicalize me. She was, I loved her politics. Her philosophy was damaging, dangerous, and dazzling. And she was sexy as fuck, dude. Fucking love Nancy from The Craft. Nurse Ratched, great cold villain. Nancy for crazy villains. Oh my God. Nurse Ratched, so good. Louise Fletcher did so well. But let's see greatest movie villains, because there must be some that just aren't coming to my mind right now. Let's see if I can find something cool. I guess AFI, American Film Institute, has a list. So I don't want to leave some out. And I know I like a bunch of villains or whatever. Oh, we got heroes and villains, everybody. They gave number one to Hannibal Lecter. That's boring. Hey, they recognize Nurse Ratched, though. That's why she comes to mind first, because so many people, whatever. Because she's normally like featured high. Who else? Fatal Attraction, like ever since we talked about erotic thrillers the other night, I was looking in the Fatal Attraction, and of course, by the way, like Fatal Attraction at least is definitely about the cultural fear of AIDS. I believe the director even said as much. I didn't know it was as beloved as it is. I mean, look, it's the greatest villains of all time, and Fatal Attraction's featured here. I hate The Exorcist. Sorry, everybody. I don't think that it's good at all. Oh my God, Double Indemnity. We're talking about Barbara Stanwyck and Double Indemnity. Yes. Alex DeLarge, guys. Alex the fucking Large. Where was he on that list? He's amazing. He's incredible. So is Noah Cross in Chinatown. Fuck the shark in Jaws. I don't care. I don't care about Mutiny on the. I don't care about the man in Bambi. That's just some. Even the American Film Institute is memeing at this point. Gordon Gekko, Wall Street, great villain. I'm glad that AFI at least recognizes who the villains of the movies actually are. Like Tony Montana is the villain of Scarface, and he's a great villain too. Reverend Harry Powell from The Night of the Hunter. Now that's another like top tenner. That's a great fucking villain right there, dude. Let me just go down. Yeah, Travis Bickle is a villain. Mrs. Danvers is so good in Rebecca. Bonnie and Clyde are wonderful. Harry Lime in The Third Man. You see, thank you for reminding me of all these. Joan Crawford and Mommy Dearest. Sure, why not? Hey, I like Training Day, and I thought that might be my favorite Denzel movie, and Alonzo Harris is excellent. So yeah, there are a lot of great villains out there, actually. I like the, I don't know, fucking numbers, the cop. The cop machine in T2. Liked him a lot. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones. You know, I love my like postmodern teen horror movies, and Brenda from Urban Legend is totally awesome and rad. And who else is great? The new girl in The Faculty, right? The blonde is wonderful. Fuck. I mean, I love all those movies to death mostly. So like the villains of those, I'm gonna really dig. Even Dr. Vanakit as this weird specter within House on Haunted Hill. That one. Oh, Carrie. Carrie is a wonderful villain. But Dr. Vanakit there, played by Jeffrey Combs, that's wonderful too. I learned that Mega XLR cartoon from the early 2000s did a reference to everyone. I don't even know what that is. That's dope. Off topic. Having heard you sing praises of Cabaret, and having recently been going through his films after discovering his remake of Knights of Cabiria and being a fan of Cabaret, was wondering if we'd hear you talk more about Bob Fosse as a filmmaker in the future. I've been trying to. What I really want to do is get Isabel back on here, someone back on here to talk about All That Jazz with me, because that film is extraordinary, but it's also extraordinarily difficult to talk about without fucking depressing yourself, right? And it's such a remarkably dark and I think powerful film, and wonderful and all that shit. But I would like to have someone that's one where I want to bounce an idea off somebody rather than just give you my take. So I'll talk to Isabel about doing All That Jazz. And I think, well, obviously by covering All That Jazz, we're gonna have to talk about Bob Fosse, like the big picture. And I don't know where it is. I do have a biography of Fosse that I'll read through if that ends up happening. I won't read all of it, but I'll read some of it. It's a big fucking book. It's like a door stopper. But I really want to do Bob Fosse, but yeah, like I said, by talking about All That Jazz, it's so self-referential that you're gonna have to talk about Bob Fosse when you talk about All That Jazz, and we'll probably end up talking about a lot of his work within it. Cabaret is one of my, I think it's one of my three favorite movies. I can't even remember the order that I did that in. It's one of my top five favorite movies. I love it so much. I think Bob Fosse is remarkable. So the answer to your question is yes. There'll be more Bob Fosse talk in the future, and hopefully I'll get someone else with like a cool perspective on it to go over it with me. Anthony Hopkins plays in a better horror movie, Magic. I'm not even sure if I've seen that. Is it? Magic 1978? Nah. No, I haven't watched it, but I'll believe you. Never liked Silence of the Lambs, but I'm glad it put Anthony Hopkins as a mainstream actor. Anthony Hopkins is all right. I like Silence of the Lambs. Jonathan Demme's cool. He's a cool director. I like that it is essentially a B movie with a glossy finish. You know, it's an exploitation movie. It's it's the farthest an exploitation movie ever went. Like accolades, awards, esteem, legacy for what is truly an exploitation movie. That's wild to me. Like, it's not an art house movie. It's not even like a serious film. If you watch it as an exploitation movie, you're like, this exploitation movie took the world by storm. And it's really interesting to watch in that respect. But I don't hate Hannibal Lecter at all. I mean, Manhunter is like the best film that features the character. But I even liked Hannibal, the Ridley Scott sequel. I hate Red Dragon. I think I watched Hannibal Rising once. It was terrible. The Show with Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah, that's fun. That's cool. I like that. That is good. One second here. Oh. But yeah, I didn't know we were going to talk about villains all night. That was a weird list there. So, hey Peyton, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. I have been in the background just watching a bunch of sorry, the neighbor's dog is going crazy. Cujoing out there. But been watching so much Felicity lately. I'm probably halfway done with season 2. The strangest thing to me is like what Felicity is most famous for, like a haircut. Like the show itself is famous for a haircut. I'll save my thoughts for it when I do the video, but I liked Felicity season 1 and Felicity 2. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do after Felicity though. I really don't know. But it's good to see you, Peyton. Have you been able to check out more of Greg Araki's films since you've seen Nowhere? All this stuff really seems up your alley. Yeah. Even when I did Nowhere, I at least saw Mysterious Skin by the time I did the Nowhere video. And since then, I've watched Totally Fucked Up. I would love to do Doom Generation. Would really love to do Doom Generation. Have you all seen this, by the way? You know, I do like physical media a little bit. And, dude, yeah. I want this so fucking bad, dude. They're putting out the entire Teen Apocalypse trilogy, right? And look how cool that is. Look how cool that is. But for like 80 fucking bucks. Oh, that's 4K. Still 60 is asking a lot. But man, I fucking so would. And I want to do the Doom Generation. I want to cover the Doom Generation. Maybe like eventually cover every movie in this, but the Doom Generation is one that's like absolutely essential, your cult boyfriend like canon viewing. Yeah, look at these individual titles, man. I really want to do Doom Generation though. I love the film. A heterosexual movie by Greg Araki, like that's the one I gotta do. But yeah, a lot of his stuff is up my alley. And I just want this fucking set so fucking bad. I don't care. I might have to splurge, man. September, we got time. We got time to put some dollar-onies away. Look at all this. So much awesome shit. That looks so cool. Was literally so hyped when they announced that. It looks so fucking cool, man. It looks so cool. And like I remember saying like to somebody like, man, fucking I'm over physical media. And then I open up Instagram and I see that and I'm like, oh mother, I'm buying this immediately. I need this so bad. Criterion knows what to do to convince me of or reconvince me of my loyalty. Manhunter is my favorite Hannibal, supposed to be a side character, the main villain. Hey, Thomas Harris is okay writer. I like the novel Hannibal more than the film Hannibal. But the film Manhunter's a lot better than the book. Brian Cox's version of Hannibal's interesting that he did in Manhunter because it's, you know, Anthony's is so goofy and campy that you can't take it seriously. Like I would never meet Anthony Hopkins's Hannibal Lecter, which makes an exploitation film. It's fine given the style of the piece itself, given Demi's like compositional and stylistic realm that he was working within. But with Michael Mann's, like grounded, still ruminative though. Brian Cox, I can imagine him as like a really shitty college professor that I used to have, right? Like I can imagine meeting the Brian Cox version of Hannibal, which makes him like obviously more scary, like scarier because he's more tangible. So I do like his version of the character in Manhunter. Felicity's hairstylist in season 2 is an underrated villain. It took a minute to get used to it. It really did. But it's so wild that like the urban legend or like the popular thing is that Felicity was brought down. The show itself was killed by a haircut. That's wild. I know that after Kerry Russell got that haircut, that made a rule at WB that like all hair modifications had to be run through the studio first for permission because they really blamed that haircut. Now that I'm halfway through season 2, the haircut's fine. It's not as good as season 1. Like that's simply it. I'm enjoying it still. It's just not as good as season 1. It might be a combination of the hair, but and the quality, but the quality is not as where it was at. Except for one thing, Ben, Scott Speedman's character, everything he's doing is great. He's fascinating. So my analysis video, I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time on Ben's psychology and philosophy, which is awesome because that's where I wanted to be at the end of the last Felicity video. So the quality has gone down, but like one character in particular is doing incredibly well, and that's Ben, and I can't wait to talk about him. But once again, still really liking Felicity. J.J. Abrams, his philosophy is fucking slippery. It's really hard to pin down, man. It's fun. It's fun. He's squirming around, but I'm going to figure out exactly what makes J.J. Abrams tick. 90210 is a blueprint for teen drama. I'm going to do it. I'm also going to see how many seasons, though. I feel like that show ran for a long time. 10 seasons. Okay. It's going to be another damn One Tree Hill. It's going to be a little longer. Okay. I will do it. I pledge I will do Beverly Hills 90210 after Felicity. And that's going to take a while. And I'm allowed to give up if I hate it. I'm allowed to give up, but I gotta see what made Luke Perry iconic. I've never seen what made Luke Perry iconic. And Shannon Doherty, I already love Shannon Doherty, so I'd love to actually watch that show just for Shannon Doherty. All right, next is Beverly Hills 90210, but I still got 3 more Felicity videos to make before then. Was literally so I read that earlier. Yeah, I love that. I can't wait. I would love to get that. Wait until it gets on eBay. Charmed is another one. I'm going to do 90210 first. I know that Charmed was also a big WB show. Charmed is even fucking longer than 90210, isn't it? No, it's only 8 seasons. I feel like it was on forever. Okay, I guess it was wrong. But 90210, I think that Peyton's right. It's the blueprint for teen drama for sure. It's just from when to when did it run to? From 19 oh so, wow, wait, so 10 seasons ran in 1990. So like the entirety of the 90s was dominated by 90210. Yeah, final episode in 2000. This might be, I think that Jen just spoke some radical truth to us. It's just that possibly shit, who else was in there? Yeah, Shannon Doherty, I'm excited to see. I don't even know who Jenny Garth is. Tiffany Amber Thiessen was in this? All right, I'm down. I've of course heard of it. It's just I don't know a whole lot about it. Yeah, next is Beverly Hills 90210. It might be like the last one. First season is rough, just a heads up. Well, it's definitely going to be rough in 1990 because I always thought, and I'm saying this as someone who hasn't watched Beverly Hills 90210, that like the stuff about teen drama that I like the most was the blueprint for that was My So-Called Life. I always considered that at least the blueprint for like the stuff I like, and like we get people like Jason Katims who worked on My So-Called Life, who would go from there to Roswell to Friday Night Lights, and I can trace it easier that way. Like the evolution of the stuff I like most within teen drama. But if 90210 is a show that survived all through the 90s, that lived as this thing throughout it, like that, even if I don't like it, it has to be fascinating to talk about. So I am excited for it. Wait for the November, the Barnes and Noble 50% off sale. Okay. You think that Criterion will hike up the prices in November to make up for it? I haven't seen much Charmed. I've been told that if I love Buffy, I gotta watch Charmed, and then I would have to talk. Oh! Is 90210 like one of the Aaron Spelling shows? Because I don't think I've ever interacted with him. Is that one of his? Because he's produced by Aaron Spelling. I've never actually dealt with Aaron Spelling, and I definitely have to do 90210 then. Like that's a huge figure of the WB that I've never interacted with, and it'd be crazy if I didn't. So I have to do it. Wow, Aaron Spelling is a huge name. He's arguably a bigger, more recognizable name than Kevin Williamson when it comes to the teen drama art form, but not in very positive ways. I've heard a lot of negative things about him too, so that's exciting to me. A lot of aspiring cinephiles get Criterion on those sales. Oh yeah, they do. It's good. Criterion offers good crash courses in world cinema. That's how I fucking really learned, right? Well, I mean, I learned because I was obsessed at a very early age, but like what got me past stuff that's more accessible is definitely my first Criterion ever was Bob Le Flambeur, directed by Melville. And the only reason I bought it, to be honest with you, is because I heard Paul Thomas Anderson talk about Bob Le Flambeur and Jean-Pierre Melville on the commentary for Hard 8. And from then on, it was a different life for me, different story entirely. I'm surprised I remembered what my first Criterion was. That's crazy. It's interesting seeing new filmmakers start to rip off Greg Araki. Are you interested in analyzing Euphoria and Girls? I'm more interested in Girls in the show Girls than I am in Euphoria. But I'm not super interested in either. Like, I really don't want to cover Euphoria. And I would guess that after 90210, if I don't do Charmed, I should do Glee or Riverdale. I'm guessing I should. If this teen drama stuff just goes on forever. But like Euphoria is not really on the short list. I'm not really too interested in it. It doesn't seem to be like the teen drama I like, right? I think HBO almost destroyed television in a pretty big way. Television is like really important. The structure is so integral to what television is. The fact that it is like however many commercials you have, that's how many structures are necessary for the screenplay. And it makes not only a formula that's beautiful and familiar, but also an easy formula to deconstruct and to reconfigure. You don't have that structure within HBO. So HBO defaults to being more cinematic. So you watch Sopranos, you watch The Wire, you'll watch Deadwood, and the shows aren't formatted as shows. Each individual episode is formatted like a short film or cinema itself. And then each season we get 22, we get 18 to 23 episode seasons normally with television, and it allows the writers to explore all sorts of different themes, all sorts of different characters, and do goofy shit, do really serious shit, just experiment or like focus super hard on a bunch of parallel, long, rich narratives. With HBO, though, they were the first ones who really made their shows fucking 12 episode seasons. And how do they organize it into one long movie? Like it's structured like one long movie. So to me, HBO did bad television. When they said it's not TV, it's HBO, they weren't fucking lying. It's not TV. It's television. I mean, it's film. It's cinema for all intents and purposes. It's fucking cinema. Television, true television to me isn't. Basically, HBO has more in common with streaming television than streaming television has more in common with TV pure, TV proper. I hope I'm making sense. This is stuff I've been thinking about, but not really articulated correctly. But so my problem with Euphoria is that I know I'm gonna have some like fundamental issues with it as a television show, like out the gate. Um, Girls though interest me a little bit more. I might be more forgiving, but who knows? I might have the same exact problem with it. Then I think about it. You still haven't done Angel. No, I haven't done Angel. But I don't know if I will do Angel. And I also haven't done the originals, the Vampire Diaries spinoff. There's a bunch of spinoffs out there that I said I would do that I haven't done. Angel. That's a tough show. I like it. I like it. But holy shit, they just allowed that show to go so wildly off track that it's not even funny. It's whatever season it was with when Charisma and Vincent Kartheiser did their thing, that was too much, man. Like the fuck were you doing, Joss? Jesus Christ. My So-Called Life was supposed to be an anti-90210. Cool. Well, I'm gonna have fun interacting with the pro with what it was against. That's gonna be fun. I watch a lot of Criterion for my public library. Public libraries are really underrated. You can get so many Criterions there. You can get like not just a crash course in world cinema. You can learn fucking everything about world cinema through your public library. And normally libraries let you check out fucking 10 of them at a time. Libraries are great. Like, I'm all for physical media. I think physical media is fine. What I don't necessarily like are like haul videos, the film tubers who just film themselves shopping and then like spending money and then showing you all their stuff. Show me more library hauls, guys. Show me more, like, show normal people how they can have access to this like more elite or pretentious stuff. If you break that like that veil of being pretentious or inaccessible by just being like you can rent fucking every Godard movie ever for free at the library, I think you can get through to a lot more people than just doing like a normal haul video. I don't know. I think I went off track there, but the point of it is I love supporting local libraries. They're fucking rad. And they always help. Never liked the HBO format, just a really long movie that never ends. Thank you. And like I've said on the last stream a little bit, like most cinephiles, like that's their favorite stuff. The favorite stuff is Sopranos inspired, HBO inspired stuff that is just a really long movie that never ends. And it just shows that they have no understanding of what television actually is. Like they don't understand the structure, what made it unique, what made it different, what made it more powerful than cinema in its own way. Cinephiles will just name a bunch of shows that are just really long movies, and that's so fucking stupid. That's their favorites. Like, I'll never vibe with that. I honestly don't think you need to waste your time with the originals. Honestly, I'll give you a spoiler. I tried watching like 6 to 7 episodes of the originals, and I wasn't feeling it. I did say in the one of my Vampire Diaries videos that I do it, but because Klaus is one of the best villains ever. We talked about villains. If we're talking about villains of TV shows, like Klaus would be there. He's great. He's so good. Didn't like him as much in his own show, though. I loved him in the second, third, and fourth season of The Vampire Diaries. Thought he was great. Klaus, he was wonderful. Uh, so I thought I'd like the originals, but I tried and I couldn't keep with it. So you're likely not going to see an originals video ever. I came to the same conclusion. Jill Roberts is my girlfriend, which sucks because I was a really big fan of Klaus, but he's just not as good without Kevin Williamson there. They're really molding the character into what he was in the second and third season. You can get 100 items from my library at a time, bro. Your library is making mad money off of overdues. Imagine if 100 items went overdue. Like even like if each one was just like $1 or even 50 cents, they'd be making off with some good coins. Can't even speak anymore, guys. But yeah, tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment that, if all goes well, should have some positive impact on the future outcomes of my health, and looking forward to that. Tonight I might just have like a quick drink or two, relax, wind down, with some people. Who knows what I'm actually gonna do, but I just wanted to put this little live stream together to just have fun with you, honestly. I guess to be a bit more positive, I don't actually know how positive I was throughout this stream. I think that my positivity lasted a grand total of 5 minutes or seconds. It didn't last very long. But, that's one of the things I hate about like a lot of other film tubers, is that they're trying to like stay so positive. Meanwhile, like film itself is burning to the ground and becoming super irrelevant. They're like the fucking dog in that meme, like everything's fine. Don't act like everything's fine. Every film tuber here, like every film tuber on this website, we're on a fucking sinking ship. Cinema is dying and you're all just sitting around going, it's fine, it's fine. No. So maybe I'm just going to remain cynical and jaded. Maybe that's my arc. I'm going to have a lack of arc. And I'm still passionate. I still care about these movies an awful lot. I like television a lot more lately. That's it. I just think that television is better, or was better. Like even the television shows I like are from 20 fucking years ago. So you need someone to come out and seriously analyze TikToks or like modern streaming, because streaming is its own medium, right? And almost its own art at this point. There are a lot of interesting things to still talk about. I don't think that I don't think that art now is worse than it was 10 years ago. I just think it's different than it was 10 years ago, right? Like it's hard to put a value on it. Like I was talking to someone the other night, and like almost saying that like kids kind of the new kids kind of lack a social interaction. And I was saying like you can't really put a value on that though, because the new kids will also like accept minority groups and different kinds of people without question, most likely. So like I don't care if they didn't play outside. Same goes for art. Art's not any better or worse now than it was 10 years ago. It's just different, but we have to recognize that it's different. And also, film being dead, that might not be a bad thing. Honestly, it might not be a bad thing. I think it's run its course. Television too might not be bad. Like, might be cool. This is the type of film criticism we need. Meanwhile, I highlight that as I'm saying, maybe it's a good thing film's dead, everybody. Maybe it's fine. Maybe we should root for that. At this point, I'm almost rooting for it because it's almost pathetic at this time. I think that most cinephile culture is pathetic, and I think that like the desperation of Hollywood is getting so pathetic. The desperation of even independent filmmakers is sad to me, because it's like maybe work within a different visual medium. We live in a world of countless visual mediums. Film, don't let your nostalgia like keep you beholden to a dead art. So many interesting visual stylists are making films, when I think they would connect with more people choosing a different medium. But I'm not an artist, so like I'm not going to give you that kind of advice. I'm just a critic. All right, and critics are important too, and media critics gotta kind of change what we do a little bit. Film criticism, I'm gonna give films eulogy. Hopefully, I honestly not sure if we need film anymore, but I think that we need to have the discussion. Like other film tubers need to start having the discussion that 5 years from now, every film critic will be a historian. They won't be talking about things that shape culture anymore. We'll be talking about things that shaped culture in the past, which I'm fine with. I love doing that. But we have to admit to ourselves, we have to have a hard conversation about how film is going. And we need to talk about it. It needs to be a real shift. We need to talk about it. We need to have an open dialogue and a serious conversation about what it means. And like whether or not it's worth saving. I think that'd be a wonderful debate. Like, is film worth saving? I don't think so. I don't think so. And then you'll get those people who say that everything that's filmed is film, which is fucking bullshit. Don't let them tell you that. Don't ever let them tell you that. That's one of the most desperate arguments of the cinephile, and it's pathetic. Everything that takes place on a stage is the same art because it's theater. Fuck you. No, it's not. Put a ballerina next to a stand-up comedian, I will just laugh my ass off at you. No, these are different. These are different. Film, we need to have a real conversation. If it's worth saving, then we have to be relevant again, and we have to do something real. You might think I'm talking about narrative cinema. Maybe I am. Maybe I am talking about narrative films. You know, I don't think that a movie theater is the best place to release a documentary or possibly even an avant-garde film. Who knows? Maybe there's better places to post that and get your message across, get your feelings expressed. Narrative cinema, if I have to be like super semantical with it, because so many cinephiles are desperate to hold on to film as this thing that monopolizes all other things that are visual and in motion, narrative film is dead. And I think eventually we're gonna have a talk about that, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on future streams. I'm sure. Institutions definitely need to be torn down, and I'm not saying that there shouldn't be an industry around film. There definitely should. You know, I love old Hollywood. Hell, I love Hollywood movies in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. Like, I'm not an anti-Hollywood person, but the institutions need to be completely changed. Like, a real shift has to happen. And they don't need to be completely like rechanged because I'm anti-capitalist or anything. They need to be changed because they've failed the medium, because they've failed the art form. I think film, in order to stay alive, is going to have to change itself almost entirely, to a point where film's most devoted acolytes, like cinephiles like myself, like, we shouldn't be able to recognize it. Like, it has to change that much that its most loyal adherents don't recognize it anymore. But that's what needs to happen. And like, it's gonna be those conversations need to be had, because otherwise we're just kind of, I don't know, fooling ourselves with talking about whether or not Wolverine versus Deadpool is good. Like, what's the point of doing that? What's the point of doing that when the collapse is imminent of the art form itself? Like, there's no point until people really start talking about it. I mean, they're doing it in increments. Like, they're talking about how movie theaters are dying, but they're ignoring the massive elephant in the room. That is, if there were exciting, entertaining films, insightful films, moving ones, relevant ones, there would be people within that theater. They're ignoring that. And I don't know why. Well, I know why, because it's too difficult to comprehend. Everything that's filmed is film. That's like saying that everything that's recorded is a fucking song. You're out of your goddamn mind. right? Like, isn't that the worst argument? Everything that's filmed is a film, so film's not dying. TikTok's a film. That's not fucking true. Everything that's recorded audio is not a fucking song. Also, that would make video games films if everything that is like a motion picture is a fuck off with that argument. Don't let them use that argument. It's money mostly. I feel that it's ruining sports as well. Sports is almost like the only thing that feels safe anymore because people will go out of their way to like find the game or go to the game in person. That's like the only reason to own cable, right? Is sports. People go to the bar and get together and watch the sports. People will pay for all that merchandise. Money is ruining everything. Sports will be next then. I mean, that would have to change too. People still go to theaters, but who wants to watch Cocaine Bear in theaters? Yes, and what like even halfway thinking adult wants to watch the same fucking Marvel movie? Basically, every Marvel movie is the same fucking movie. Who wants to watch the same goddamn movie for the 25th time in a row? I wouldn't. I don't. You know, and normal people don't either. They don't want to see the same shit they've always seen. I mean, you can redress it, you can repurpose it, and like do that. Do that. Change the fucking archetype. It'll take people a second to realize they've already seen it, but at least show that you understand. But no one's showing that. It's absolutely absurd. I like that. I'm like, sorry for not being so positive, but let me be the most negative I've ever been for the last 10 minutes of the stream. Let me be the most negative I could possibly be about the art form that we all love. And I do fucking love it. Would it be terrible if narrative film became this underground thing, right? Of like the truly passionate people, and you'd have to go to like local independent theaters or even your friend's house and like watch it projected on their wall or something, and everything was super independent. Would that really be the worst thing that happened to film? I mean, it wouldn't be very relevant, but it would still be alive for those who truly believed in it. That really wouldn't be the worst thing. Death wouldn't be the worst thing if it died within the public sphere. That could be fine. That could be fine. You know, death isn't the worst thing that can happen. Hollywood can't keep marketing the perpetual children. No, and it's almost like it's a problem they've created. I think ML said something that was interesting on the last stream. She was like, I think that films have become a certain kind of pacifier, like they're infantilizing the public. So Hollywood is actually dealing with the perpetual children that they created. Like they created this monster. Right? Because if you make anything that's even half intelligent now, people will hate it. People won't go see it. People will call it pretentious just for being like 2 IQ points higher than Guardians of the Galaxy fucking 2. Like they will call you pretentious for it. So like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place that they invented. The only movies that make money will literally bankrupt the entire studio and destroy the concept of movie making as a whole. They can't keep marketing to perpetual children. And then I will say audiences have to get better too. I think audiences are getting better. I think they're getting fed up. But my problem is I think they needed to get fed up like fucking 5 years ago. It's when they needed to get tired of it. Maybe 5-10 years ago even. Audiences need to be a lot more, I don't know, proactive, jaded and cynical, honestly. Would you ever analyze comic book movies as a series, or does that not interest you as much? I just don't think I would have anything interesting to say about them. You know, a lot of them, if they were like Marvel or modern DC, it would devolve into a rant like this, where I say that this is the reason everything sucks now, which may or may not be half true. But I think that there are so many people covering comic book movies that every angle that I have, I think, has been covered before. I don't like talking about movies where I don't personally have anything unique to say about them. And I love that I love, you know, coming of age teen movies and television so much because I love that stuff the most, and I feel like I have unique things to say about them. I have nothing unique to say about not only superhero movies, but like a lot of gangster movies. Like I have nothing unique to say about Godfather 2 or Goodfellas. I have nothing unique to say likewise about, I don't know, Ant-Man and Aquaman. I have nothing unique to say. And I think if you're really interested in an analysis of those kinds of movies, you like those movies, and I would seem like I was talking down to the person at the same time. I have nothing interesting to say about comic book movies. They don't interest me too much. I don't hate them all or anything. I just even the ones I like, I have nothing interesting to say about them. Like talking about The Dark Knight earlier, I wasn't saying anything that hasn't already been said by so many different people. Now that's a good question. Because Smallville's huge. Smallville would be the only superhero thing to do for me. Like I wouldn't cover the Arrowverse or anything, but Smallville, now that is a very significant show in the WB and CW history. That's incredibly significant with a cast of like a who's who roster of important young celebrities. So I really should cover Smallville. I'm not opposed to it. Like that could be interesting to see them deconstruct and place that within the teen drama art form. Like that would be cool for me, right? But I think there's a huge difference between, I haven't watched Smallville, but between Smallville and Spider-Man Homecoming when it comes to even the coming of age superhero movies. I believe that Smallville probably interacts with what it means to come of age. It interacts with the WB obviously, and like their unique language. So Smallville I'm interested in. And Smallville will definitely be covered eventually. But I mean, apparently I'm doing 10 videos about 90210 after Felicity, but maybe Smallville will come after that. Who knows? Um, Nostalgia and nerd culture. That's basically what it is. But no, Smallville's coming. I will do Smallville. I might not finish that one. That one ran for a lot of seasons too. And depending on how they use the metaphor, or how they use the characters of Superman, like it might be super interesting or it might be a letdown. I don't think it makes anything more interesting, right? Like I don't think that Clark Kent is a more interesting character, like especially within a teen show because he's a superhero. I think that almost would make some of the more nuanced like metaphors you'd normally find within teen dramas just making them hyper literal. So, yeah. So I don't know. I will do Smallville eventually. Nostalgia makes you feel like the age you were. If you make everything nostalgic, it makes their minds work on a less mature level. True, and I'm not even against nostalgia entirely, but you have to do something with that nostalgia. If you're going to investigate nostalgia, bring me to nostalgia and then show me how to reconfigure it, how to reinvent it, how to reintroduce my nostalgic sensitivities into my my modern cynical, my current cynical sensibilities. Like you gotta do something pretty intelligent with nostalgia if you're going to spend so much time there. And now, like what, 15 years of Marvel, people are nostalgic for 15 years ago for the early days of Marvel. So it's wild. Um, like I feel bad for kids, like I guess Gen Alpha, right? Like imagine growing up and this is what you think film is. You would not think anything serious of it. If you grew up thinking that, if you grew up born in like 2005 or 2008 or something, and this is like what you think movies are, it's ridiculous. Film has let down the Gen Alpha generation entirely. Independent film would be more personal, and films should be more personal. Let's talk about how a film changed you as a person, how it personally affected you. That's transcending. Exactly, exactly. And but that's why I'm also not anti-Hollywood completely, right? Because there are Hollywood films, definitely studio projects and products that changed me as a person. Because Hollywood used to be able to produce that. They did. They're not all evil. Some of their films used to change you. Titanic is basically a perfect fucking movie. Eh, for me, in my opinion, I made a video about it. Go watch it if you're interested. Like I like a lot of Hollywood movies. They used to have power, right? And they used to feel a little bit more personal, and like the authenticity of that, like personal intimacy is like debatable, but it was there. Films should be more personal. Independent film would be like that. It's just I think that's what film's going to become, but it will be dead at that point, which is fine. Which is fine. It'll be held on to by like the true believers. You know, will cinephiles will seem goofy and cultish in the future, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm literally called your cult boyfriend. I think I'm fine with that. Um, your thoughts on Yorgos Lanthimos? Do you like any of his movies? He seems to be gaining more popularity within the mainstream world. Is he the guy who just did Challengers? Because I didn't watch that, but I heard from viewers that was good. What else did he do? No, that's Luca. I get them confused all the fucking time. Luca Guadagnino or whatever, dude. The Yorgos, did he do like what? Did he do like The Lobster then? Yes, he's the guy who did The Lobster. I don't like him now that I'm looking at his movies. I thought The Favorite was awful. So I've only seen The Favorite, The Lobster, and The Killing of a Sacred Deer. I've heard Dogtooth is great. Okay, I don't think I've watched it though. But The Favorite's one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen. I hated that movie to death. Lobster was it's just too fucking much, man. This guy's just too much. Didn't watch Poor Things because I guess I'm not a huge Yorgos fan, and I'm definitely not an Emma Stone fan. She bores me. Now, who's this Luca guy? Oh, Call Me by Your Name, Bones and All, Suspiria. Okay, I really want to watch Bones and All. Sorry, I get those two confused. I'm sorry about it. It's your favorite horror film of the 2010s, and it's hilarious and terrifying and perfect. Ugh, I'm sorry, Duval. I'm so sorry. I don't hate it. I just don't like it. It's too much. Don't expect like a really insightful reason why I don't like Yorgos. I've never seen him as worth putting too much thought into, which might be a bigger insult, actually. Don't take it too personally, though. Not a big Yorgos guy. I'm not a big newer movie guy, which kind of points out why I'm so fucking awful and obviously with a bias on whether or not film is healthy or film is dying, because I myself don't I'm not attracted to the newer filmmakers. I'm really not. Yeah, definitely not attracted to Emma Stone, like in any sort of way. I never got Emma Stone. I don't understand her. I don't think she's likable. I don't think she's good. I don't understand why she's in every fucking movie. I don't feel like a good energy from her. Like I really just don't like Emma Stone. Does nothing for me. That's like kind of awful to say, but it's true. I've never liked her, even like back in Superbad, like so forgettable. Like I, whatever. Didn't know she was gonna become the biggest star in the goddamn world. Had no clue. I might just be getting old and bitter too. So, yes, Emma Roberts for life, though. Emma Roberts is a fucking she's a role model. She's a goddess. She's a great actress. She's an artist. She's a book reader. What more do you need? If you only recognize one true Emma, and it's Emma Roberts. Jill, dude, Scream 4 was such a good performance. I love that performance is so good that I will defend her until I die now. I do like her other roles like Palo Alto and shit, but like just for Scream 4, I will defend her like tooth and nail forever. My cutoff point for movies is around 2012, 2015. It's just hard for me. Like I don't know if I've been excited for a movie within the last couple years at all. Like I haven't been to the movie theater since I don't remember. Sometime last year, I was on a date and we went to the Little Mermaid remake, which, yeah, did not fill me with an intense love and appreciation for cinema. But it was a fun date movie, a fun way to spend a couple hours of the evening. That was the last time I was at a movie theater. I think that was the only time I was at the movie theater that whole year. And the year before, I think I saw The Fablemans, and that was it. I've seen like one movie a year for the last almost 10 years in a movie theater. That's insane. That's insane. That's not even my fucking fault. Make something that resonates with me. Palo Alto is definitely one of my favorites. So fucking good. And is his name Nat Wolff? I always forget his name because there's two of them. It is Nat Wolff. Oh my god, incredible. Incredible in that film. Wow. Wow, I mean he steals that film. Nat Wolff does. Emma Roberts is so great in it though. Yeah, I love it. Gia Coppola. That entire Coppola family is fucking gifted cinematically, for real. I haven't even seen the newest Sofia Coppola movie about Elvis. I don't know if it was good. And I love Sofia Coppola. Damn. I should watch that. It just, Elvis doesn't interest me as someone worth studying. And I was like, Baz Luhrmann just did this like 5 months ago, right? Like, how many Elvis studies do I need, Sofia? Please. God. Why couldn't you call it Buddy after Buddy Holly or something? Why couldn't you do something or like it's called Priscilla though, right? Okay, it has to be about the girl. I don't know, man. Well, the poster is high art, right? Because it's just Emma Roberts looking pretty in a shade of purple. Yeah, it is. I mean, who wouldn't have this on their wall? Oh my god. Yeah. That's great. That's great. Based on the book by James Franco, I always fucking forget that, dude. And like, who did he cast himself as? I always forget that shit, bro. Last time I went was in 2018, and I bet you don't even feel like you're missing out on that much. No, I haven't. I haven't seen mainstream. Well, I can't just type in mainstream film. Fuck. Film Gia. She really should have named it that. It's not great for the algorithm. It's not great for fucking 40% of viewers like this movie. I bet it's fucking great. A young woman finds a path to internet stardom when she begins making YouTube videos. The charismatic stranger, Maya Hawke and Andrew Garfield. And Nat Wolff's in it. Alexa Demi's in it. This is real? I've never heard of it. I'd watch it though. That looks cool. Never even heard of it. Looks rad. Had no interest in Priscilla, to be honest. I was like trying for my girl, for Sofia. I was trying really hard to have interest in it, but I couldn't feign it. I really didn't try hard to see it. You know, Sofia Coppola, honestly, one of my favorite filmmakers, but like, even she hasn't been engaging me within film. Like, The Beguiled was great. That was back in 2017, though. And she made a film like On the Rocks, the Rashida Jones and Bill Murray movie from 2020. That I didn't even watch that. That didn't even convince me to get a free trial on Apple TV. So like, even Sofia, I'm losing interest in even my favorites at this point. Like Scorsese, totally uninterested in his new films. Didn't even watch like the Killers of the Flower Moon. Like, even my favorites, my heroes, the ones who changed my life, I'm not interested in their newer work. So it's not just that I'm uninterested in these newer filmmakers. The older ones aren't connecting with me either. I think it's a problem with film itself. I don't know. I have some issues with mainstream. Still like Palo Alto more. I mean, I don't think it'll be better than Palo Alto. I didn't see Emma Roberts in that cast list, so it's already worse. It's already not as good, we should say. Elvis is not an interesting person at all. Vast majority of his music was cover songs. I don't care if they are cover songs or not. I'm just like, did we really need a 1-2 punch of character studies? Do we really need Baz Luhrmann followed by Sofia Coppola? I don't think so. I really think the Coppolas are better when they're adapting something as opposed to original piece of work. Lost in Translation, though, phenomenal film. Loved it. Loved it. Overall, yeah, they're better when they're adapting, but Sophia, fucking anomaly with Lost in Translation. That's really great. It's so good. But overall, you're correct. Sometimes they lose their minds adapting, like in Apocalypse Now for Hearts of Darkness, right? Sometimes they go way too fucking far with adapting. Damn, man. I want to thank all you guys for being here. I'm probably going to head out in the next couple of minutes, but this has been really good, I think. I've had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed interacting with you guys. And if you were wanting me to finish that tier, sorry, but like, dude, I get bored with those things pretty quick now. And that one was absurd, so I didn't even feel like I had to finish it. So, and I really just wanted the tiers are there as an excuse for us to have stuff to talk about and activity, because I just really want to talk to you guys. And those are there mostly as something to help us talk, a dining table book, but like for the internet, for our conversations. And I always love our conversations. Maybe next time we'll figure out how to save film. Well, we have to determine if it's worth saving and then how to save it. Maybe that's what we'll do next time. Give me 1 second here. Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, I have not. I expected me to talk about this too, to be honest, because this is the one of the Kevin Williamson projects, right? And I can watch it right now. Like when even Kevin Williamson is having difficulty getting me to watch something new. That's how you know. That's how you know. Like I'm incurable. Really? Huh. You're the first person I have ever heard speak about it. I'll check it out though. Is it Williamson E? Is it like Kevin Williamson? Oh yeah, Nick Cage is a Coppola too. Yeah. Elvis is one of the few artists who was able to unite the world in my mind. No, Elvis is important. He's important. I want to see a film called, Jude or Julian and be about John Lennon's son and how his dad was a fucking absent piece of shit though. Like if you're gonna deconstruct some kind of god, rock god or pop idol that brought us all together, go the extra mile. Make one about what I just said. I don't know what the point of those Elvis movies are, but it seems like to deconstruct and do a character study of a pop sensation and the effect that it had on the viewer and on media itself, right? That's at least what Baz Luhrmann clearly was doing. I want to see Megalopolis so bad. I want to see it so much. Okay, maybe that will get me there. That might excite me enough. Because I've heard about it and heard about it and the strangest fucking things, man. I'm excited. Yes, there's even a Dawson's Creek reference, a story from the Halloween episode. What? Okay. Horrid films. I'll watch it. It's on Peacock. Peacock's fucking free. I definitely should watch it. That's awesome. But Megalopolis, that might just be the movie that convinces me to check out a movie theater. It might be the one. I haven't seen Priscilla, but what I hear is about calling out Elvis as a predator, so that interests me. I didn't watch Baz Luhrmann's. Was he not predatory in that? Like I would expect he would be. John Lennon would make a great movie. Also, side note, Yoko Ono was not a villain. I didn't say she was. I said John Lennon was a terrible father, though. And like, I didn't say Yoko Ono was a villain, though. If anything, John was. Didn't John beat the shit out of her? If not, then I am wildly slanderous, and I'm just, this is all satire. YouTube. I thought it was an interesting, intense modern slasher set during the pandemic times. Oh man, letting my boy Kevin Williamson down, but like I'll give it a shot. It's just even people who I love modern films just ain't not grabbing me and pulling me in. Because some of the fun stuff about covering from the 90s and 2000s is that it had a demonstrable, a demonstrative effect on culture. And it's less fun engaging with movies now because it's not talking or interacting with culture like that, you know? And maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of why I'm less interested, because everyone's less interested. If more people were visibly interested, maybe I'd be more interested. But then that logic falls apart because I'm uninterested in things that people are obviously interested in. But then again, I don't think that Star Wars or Marvel actually affect the way people engage with the world around them. I think that they're so thoughtless that it actually doesn't affect culture at all because culture doesn't take anything from it. So I'm still right logically. It's just convoluted, and I'll need to figure out a better argument for that. But my laptop is about to die, everyone, so I gotta get out of here. Thank you so much for coming to the live stream. You're all wonderful, wonderful people. It's gonna be a little bit until my next live stream because I'm gonna quit nicotine. Wish me luck. I'm gonna quit nicotine, so it's gonna be at least 2 weeks until the next live stream, or else I'll go live and I will be so irritable, so awful, and so arrogant. I'm gonna wait until it's completely out of my system. I'll go live again, and hopefully I won't be, vaping every couple of minutes and annoying people. Also be better for my health. I'm supposed to quit for my health. It's just taken me a while. But yeah, gonna quit some nicotine so you won't see me for a little bit, all right? And tomorrow's gonna be exciting. Love you, Jill Robertson, my girlfriend. Love you, ML. Awesome. I wasn't implying you said Yoko was a villain. It's just most people hate Yoko for no reason. Also, John Lennon himself had a terrible father. You should look into his past. His mother died young. I watched that Nowhere Boy movie. I know I should look into the past. Nowhere Boy movie with Aaron Taylor Johnson or whatever. I don't have a lot of respect for Lennon, for John Lennon. George is my favorite Beatle. If I have to pick one, it's fucking George Harrison. But yeah, I love you. I love you, Ruben. Thanks for coming. You're always awesome to talk to, by the way. Have a good night, everybody.